everybody. This is Students Retrospective. I'm Eric.
I'm Sohail.
I'm Kuhan.
And I'm Nissan.
So there's a 9/11 memorial at our school, right?
Yeah, in that courtyard next to the library where there's all those benches and all the flowers.
It's really serene and beautiful. For some reason, whenever I think of that, I always imagine like sun shining down there, flowers, like really pretty, birds chirping. I mean, it's just like kind of like there's like these bricks surrounding it and just this rusted, like mangled steel beam. It's very well manicured there. It's like just like the rest of the school. It's almost dreamlike.
But why do you think that is? That's such a gruesome event. Once like people want to remember it, like in such a serene manner. So like the people who died have a better image.
Yeah, the only really brutal image there is just a conjoined piece of steel. We don't have.
And not a lot of people pay attention to it.
No,
I don't think a lot of people in their students don't even know that that's even there.
I don't even know if the freshmen know it
I've never even been out there.
Regardless, I feel like there's a sense of that, like this memorial isn't like front and center at the front of the school, like remember 9/11, like it's not there.
It's enclosed in the
middle. It's at a place no one outside can see.
No, you can't even see it unless you walk into the school.
But it is there. Unlike today's topic, which is Columbine. Where is Columbine? You guys know?
We don't even see it in our school. There's no picture. There's no mural.
No conjoined steel beam.
There's no courtyard. There's no wall of names. There's nothing.
I didn't know it happened until we started really... Well, I mean, I knew it happened, but I didn't know much about it. Didn't know the date. Didn't know exactly what happened, like names or anything, even though at the time I'm sure it was a big thing. But
yeah, we were what, 3 or 4 years? No, we were even younger.
Yeah,
we were like
1999.
Yeah.
2.
3 years.
So it's, I mean, nobody ever told me about Columbine. At school, no one told me. My parents never told me. I never knew. One day, just on Netflix, I watched Bowling for Columbine. It's a Michael Moore documentary, and that's how I knew.
I stumbled upon Columbine when I was interested in this blog that cited all about school sightings, and Columbine was one of them, and it was pinpointed as the most gruesome massacre of a high school. So that's when I first got interested in it. And even when I asked my mom about it, she had no idea, and I think another factor of that is that we were living in a different country at that time, so...
Yeah, I mean, I just heard about it. I heard that it happened. I'd heard Columbine shooting, the high school massacre, but I didn't know what year or really anything. Okay, so basically what we just want to know is we're trying to see what the effect of Columbine had on the school and everything that changed after the shooting and sort of the change in student response, how the students reacted, how the administration reacted, and sort of just what changed as a result of the shooting.
Mm-hmm. So. Well, first of all, everybody was in a state of shock. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's basically inconceivable that in America anybody would go after children in that manner, even other children. Mm-hmm. I mean, it just was inconceivable.
The only remnant we really have are the people who lived through it in our community, the people who actually were like alive and around during that time period. Other than that, there's nothing we have.
We just really have people's experiences.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
Okay, so if you could tell us, like, what you remember from before and after Columbine happened, like any safety precautions that were installed or, like, reactions of how it was taken in the community.
Well, it was bad. I mean, everybody was affected by it. I mean, I'm not going to lie, the security that we have now is different than we had back then. But I'm pretty sure the security that any high school had was different back then. You know what I mean? I mean, we did have security people that were here, and people are always on the lookout, and teachers are always looking in the hallways and all that kind of stuff. But I mean, even you guys know the doors lock after 5 minutes in between. So the campus was more open. It was a lot easier for anybody to just walk in, but we didn't have a big reason to worry about that.
Wow.
Do you know what I mean? It wasn't it was a different time, you know. Unfortunately, it was a different time, you know, just like anything. I'm pretty sure we didn't have the security desk back
Really?
then. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there was not a secure. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure there wasn't. I mean, people had to sign in. People had to go to the main office.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't like people could just walk in and just roam around. I mean, it's definitely a lot more. You know, it's definitely more different. It's definitely more secure. Unfortunately, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I even remember when I taught elementary middle school in Northvale, which is a nice little community. I mean, there's no issues there too. And you know, now there's you got to go in, you got to sign in. I mean, everything is locked. So yeah, it definitely was different. And then you know, and everything. It's unfortunate because it keeps happening.
Yeah, it
You know, with Newtown and you know.
The copycat effect.
Yeah. I mean, and it's, you know, happening in colleges and stuff. I mean, there's only so much security you can have.
Right.
You know, people have to come in and out of buildings.
School security in general got stricter after that, so there were more guidelines. And with Highlands also always wants to go above and beyond those guidelines.
I think there's something to say there, though, because teachers don't remember certain things that are happening, like just becoming a fading memory again.
We were just sort of wondering, like, specifically at Highlands, what changed, like, right after Columbine.
Well, I know, for instance, and I was not here at the time, so I can't say from firsthand information, but things like lockdown drills were implemented. Like
Okay.
Before Columbine, there was no such thing as a code red drill. In 2009, the state passed a law that all schools, in addition to a fire drill, now must run a school security drill per month. So now, where we did security drills in the past, it was at our discretion and it was at our leisure. Now we're mandated to have one a month. In addition, we have to have them fall under 4 categories. Okay? They are active shooter, lockdown, bomb threat, non-fire evacuation. And we have to have 2 of those types of drills per year.
You know, last night I stopped a man. He was, you know, I came back last night because the talent show.
Talent
I
show.
forgot we had a power
Yeah.
failure. I'm supposed to be in there, and I'm walking through the halls, and there's this guy walking around. I stopped him, and then, you know, I just walked up to him and said, "I don't think you're supposed to be in the school right now. You know, can I help you? Are you looking for something?" And he looked at me. He said, "I work here. I clean bathrooms. You know, but
But you can't be too safe.
But 10 years ago, I wouldn't have done that. I would
Exactly.
have smiled. I would have said hello."
So, I mean, we were born into this era of just, like, in a sense, terror. I mean, there's always been, like, fear, like, security and all this stuff. But, I mean, if we go back to, like, 60s and 70s, like, that was the era of, like, free love and peace and acid and the Beatles, you know? So, it's strange. But us, like, it's always been, we've always had these code reds. We've always had security cameras everywhere.
For
Like,
as
we
long
don't
as we
even,
can remember,
yeah,
yeah.
I don't, like, half the time you don't even notice them, but we're always being watched.
Oh, look, there's one over there, near the exit sign.
Right where it says Mr. B, Seagas.
There's one more over there. That's a matter of less than that's a couple of paces away. Now there's one over here.
2 more up there. There's 2 more, it's like within 2 feet.
Wow.
They put a camera
We
on
have
this
a
fake
We have a
mural.
painting in the, that's intense.
There's 2.
3.
There's 3.
2.
For it to seem realistic, there has to be cameras. Wow.
Even, so,
Yeah, they have
the
to have
mural that
cameras.
creates, like, this optical illusion. Where is this? This is the really
Isn't that
long...
they're facing
Sunshine
each other?
hallway.
They're
Sunshine
watching each
hallway.
other.
Yeah,
Oh,
2.
There's 2 right across from each other.
Here, next to meet the...
Meet department.
Meet the department. Are there, like, the doors locking at that specific time
No.
and stuff before?
No. No, I don't think so. You could walk in between classes anytime you wanted.
What about the video cameras? I know there are some, but do you think there were as many of those, like, cameras over there?
I don't think so.
Wow.
Not back then, no.
Okay.
Do you remember
don't think
the
so.
like reactions of students and teachers, like how they took it?
Well, we were, you know, horrified. I mean, you know, we, as teachers, we come to school every day just to help kids, you know, and I would say that every teacher in the school would do the same thing that those teachers did, especially in Newtown. If some kid walked into the library with an Uzi, you know, or whatever, a machine gun, and opened fire, you don't think those teachers would jump on kids and just get them, you know, try to get them to safe places? You know, so we were all horrified, and we were, you know, I don't, you know, that was a while ago, and I don't remember for sure, but I'm pretty sure that we talked about it in class, you know, and on the unfortunate, you know, incident.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure that the administration, there were programs back then, you know, maybe assemblies or something like that. But, I mean, it was a while ago, so I don't specifically remember. But, you know, we definitely had dialogue in classes about it. And
Do you have any idea, like, when the security cameras, when more were installed? Or
Yes, security cameras were installed approximately 2005, 2006. That's another security upgrade. Around the same time, it was the automated door locks, in which electronic door locks were put on the school, another security measure. And other things have been phased in over time. We're still evaluating, continue to phase in new things like more cameras, better door locks, better way of checking in our visitors at the front desk, things like that.
I was talking to one of the person who works at the security desk,
Yeah.
and I was saying, do you feel that because of the security cameras, there's a minimized sense of sort of, I need to take responsibility and be vigilant because, someone else is always watching. There's always a camera. There's always someone sitting in front of a computer. And I think that that's also something to think about because we see all these security cameras and someone else is always watching, but are we really watching?
But I mean, then there's also the point that the woman at the security desk brought up. There's only so much you can do. Like you can't just like lock us up in bars. You have to give us some kind of opening. You can't just throw some iron bars there and say no one comes in, no one comes out. There's only so much you can do.
Yeah.
And I mean, with all these security things, I mean, she was even talking about metal detectors on the doors. When does it lose the environment of a school?
I think the administration here is very, like I said, vigilant in making sure that the kids and the kids and the teachers here are as safe as possible, without being a jail or putting up barbed wire. I mean, there are some schools where you got to go through a metal detector every day. You know, that's. I'll give you a perfect example. When we did Legally Blonde, we had those really pretty Harvard banners that covered the windows, and the administration asked us to take them down because they couldn't see people coming in. So we took them down and just put them up for the show. They were cool with it just for the show, and we were like, okay, yeah, no, that's cool. But they're definitely thinking, you know, I mean, they're definitely, you know, they're not, you know, blowing this off. They're really trying to make sure everybody's safe. But
I mean, but even at our school, like, let's just go through it. Like, we have security cameras everywhere, in front of every door, every
corner,
exit.
every corner.
It's there.
We have a security desk. We have a desk devoted to security.
Yeah, we have the guards at the front, like, of the campus,
Patches.
around the parking lot. Yeah, we have Patchy. Just everywhere we have security guards.
And,
We have those
and
green
locked doors.
locked doors.
The locked doors. We have the passes.
The green visitor stickers.
Yeah, we can't let in kids. Like, even if we know a kid, you know, when the doors lock.
We're not allowed.
We're not allowed
We
to
can't open
alumni
that
back
doors.
in.
Yeah, and it's really that is how the school remembers Columbine.
It's through the security, through the heightened security.
Yeah, but it kind of comes back to that little bubble aspect.
It's like,
This society, just like, we feel like there's a 1 in like a billion chance that someone will walk in with a gun.
No, but what's interesting is that Columbine was just the same thing. It was a very affluent high school.
Yeah.
It was a very, very a good, well-performing high school. The students were high performers on standardized tests. Everything was a very academic-based school, and it was a very wealthy community.
See, but that's the point. We're not learning from it. Like, it happened to something like that, yet nothing.
but how far are we supposed to go? Like we said, we can't turn school into like a jail, an airport, you know?
Yeah.
So, but I feel like, in a sense, as Columbine gets farther and farther away, it's like we just accept, like, us as students, I feel like we're complacent. Like, we don't care that we're always being watched. We don't care. Like, we just don't even think about that, how this creates a correlation. I mean, it's crazy. And it's weird that such a tragic and important event, as far as, like, how it's changed how we, like, as students, how we live our lives within a school community.
I never thought that I'd be marching a bunch of students like in the last row.
With their hands up.
In the air, you know, it's like, oh my God, you know, what world do we live in? It changed a lot of things. You know, it changed. I imagine it changes the relationship of a school towards the students, because you start looking and say, well, you know, maybe there's somebody like that in here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know, the kids at Northern Honors were very good, but you don't know.
It's weird how little it's remembered, yet how much it's affected us.
And I think the memory about Columbine, the students back then who were attending Highlands, definitely, when they heard about the news about Columbine, they would have definitely been shocked by the fact that such a similar school can have such terrible incidents. But I wanted to refer back to Mr. Bach's interview, how they also have what we have now, a naive thought of that's not going to happen to us. It's just astounding to realize how that thought existed then, but then throughout time, over a span of 14 years, we have the same exact thoughts again now.
I mean, yeah, it's bad, but it's in a way, I feel like it's almost natural. Like, you know, when you think of Newtown or Columbine or what was it, Georgia Tech? No. Virginia Tech. Those shootings, like, we look at them in the news, and the you know, the anchor men or women are like freaking out, and like we're being pumped all this information, and it's so scary, and it's a lot of deaths. But if you think about of all the schools, all the kids in this country, it's hard not to think it's not going to be me. So maybe the remedy to begin with is to remember Columbine and not to.
I hear the sound of mandolins. You kiss me.
So this was the students' retrospective,
Oh, I'm so sorry.
and that was Kuhan.
I'm so sorry. I did not mean
suspected.
that. Excuse me.
And we look back at history and laugh a little bit. Whatever.
Sorry, I had fries.
Have some fun. Keep it classy.
Thank you for
Remember
listening.
the past.
I love you.
Remember the past.
Retrospect, and kisses and hugs, and
Remember.
remember the 5th of November. It's a great poem. Guy Fawkes Day. Anybody?
Fight,
Signing off.
fight for Narnia.
Yeah, signing off. This is
Signing off.
Signing off.
This was students'
Retrospective.
With Kuhan.
Nihisa.
Sohail.
And Eric.
We love you.
Most of the time.
Most of the time.
Yeah. Although
You guys
I
are
gotta
great.
tell you half of those terms.
Yeah, those terms.